Ecclesiastes chapter 12. Remember now your Creator in the days of your youth, while the evil days do not come, nor the years draw near, when you will say, I have no pleasure in them. While the sun, or the light, or the moon, or the stars are not darkened, nor the clouds return after the rain, in the day when the keepers of the house will tremble, and the strong men will bow themselves, and the grinders cease because they are few, and those that look out of the windows are darkened. And the doors will be shut in the streets, when the sound of the grinding is low, and he'll rise up at the sound of the bird, and all the daughters of music will be brought low. Also, when they shall be afraid of that which is high, and fears shall be in the roadway, and the almond tree shall flourish, and the grasshopper will be a burden, and desire will fail. Because man goes to his long home, and the mourners go all about the streets. Or ever the silver cord is loosed, or the golden bowl is broken, or the pitcher is broken at the fountain, or the wheel broken at the cistern, then will the dust return to the earth as it was, and the spirit will return to our Elohim who gave it. Vanity of vanities, says the preacher. All is vanity. And moreover, because the preacher was wise, he still taught the people knowledge. Yes, he gave good heed, and he sought out and set in order many proverbs. The preacher sought to find out acceptable words, and that which was written was upright, words of truth. The words of the wise are like goads and like nails fastened by the masters of assemblies that are given from one shepherd. And further, by these, my son, be admonished. Of making many books there is no end, and much study is a weariness of the flesh. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear our Elohim and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. For our Elohim will bring every work into judgment, with every secret thing, whether it is good or is evil. End of chapter. Lamentations chapter 5. Remember, O Yahweh, what has come upon us. Consider and behold our reproach. Our inheritance is turned to strangers, our houses to aliens. We are orphans and fatherless. Our mothers are like widows. We have drunken our water for money that we've given. Our wood is sold to us. Our necks are under persecution. We labor and have no rest. We've given the hand to the Egyptians and to the Assyrians to be satisfied with bread. Our fathers have sinned, and they are not, and we have borne their iniquities. Servants have ruled over us. There is no one who does deliver us out of their hand. We got our bread with the peril of our lives because of the sword of the wilderness. Our skin was black like an oven because of the terrible famine. They've ravished the women in Zion and the maids in the cities of Yehudah. Princes are hung up by their hand. The faces of elders were not honored. They took the young men to grind, and the children fell under the wood. The elders have ceased from the gate, the young men from their music. The joy of our heart has ceased. Our dance is turned to mourning. The crown has fallen from our head. Woe to us that we have sinned. For this our heart is faint, and for these things are our eyes dim. Because of the mountain of Zion that is desolate, the foxes walk on it. You, O Yahweh, remain forever. Your throne remains from generation to generation. Wherefore do you forget us forever, and forsake us so long a time? Turn to us again, O Yahweh, and we will be turned. Renew our days like those of old. But you have utterly rejected us. You are very angry against us. End of chapter. Genesis chapter 9. And Yahweh blessed Noah and his sons, and said to them, Be fruitful, and multiply, and replenish the earth. And the fear of you and the dread of you shall be upon every beast of the earth, and upon every fowl of the air, upon all that moves upon the earth, and upon all the fishes of the sea. Into your hand are they delivered. Every moving thing that lives shall be food for you, even as the green herb have I given you all things. But the flesh with the life of it, which is the blood of it, you shall not eat. And surely your blood of your lives will I require. At the hand of every beast will I require it, and at the hand of man, at the hand of every man's brother will I require the life of man. Whoso sheds man's blood, by man shall his blood be shed, for in the image of Yahweh made he man. And you, be you fruitful and multiply. Bring forth abundantly in the earth and multiply in it. And Yahweh spoke to Noah and to his sons with him, saying, And I, behold, I establish my covenant with you, and with your seed after you, and with every living creature that is with you, of the fowl, of the cattle, and of every beast of the earth with you, from all that go out of the ark to every beast of the earth. And I will establish my covenant with you. Neither shall all flesh be cut off any more by the waters of a flood, neither shall there any more be a flood to destroy the earth. And Yahweh said, This is the token of the covenant which I make between me and you and every living creature that is with you for perpetual generations. I do set my bow in the cloud, and it shall be for a token of a covenant between me and the earth. And it shall come to pass, when I bring a cloud over the earth, that the bow shall be seen in the cloud. And I will remember my covenant, which is between me and you and every living creature of all flesh. And the waters shall no more become a flood to destroy all flesh.
And the bow shall be in the cloud, and I will look upon it, that I may remember the everlasting covenant between Yahweh and every living creature of all flesh that is upon the earth. And Yahweh said to Noah, This is the token of the covenant, which I have established between me and all flesh that is upon the earth. And the sons of Noah that went forth of the ark were Shem, and Ham, and Japheth. And Ham is the father of Canaan. These are the 3 sons of Noah, and of them was the whole earth overspread. And Noah began to be a husbandman, and he planted a vineyard. And he drank of the wine and was drunk, and he was uncovered within his tent. And Ham, the father of Canaan, saw the nakedness of his father, and told his 2 brethren that were outside. And Shem and Japheth took a garment and laid it upon both their shoulders, and went backward and covered the nakedness of their father. And their faces were backward, and they did not see their father's nakedness. And Noah awoke from his wine, and knew what his younger son had done to him. And he said, Cursed be Canaan, a servant of servants shall he be to his brethren. And he said, Blessed be Yahweh Elohim of Shem, and Canaan shall be his servant. Yahweh shall enlarge Japheth, and he shall dwell in the tents of Shem, and Canaan shall be his servant. And Noah lived after the flood 350 years, and all the days of Noah were 950 years, and he died. End of chapter. Exodus chapter 20. And Yahweh spoke all these words, saying, I am Yahweh your Elohim, which have brought you out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. You shall have no other Elohim before me. You shall not make to you any graven image, or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. You shall not bow down yourself to them, nor serve them. For I, Yahweh, your Elohim, am jealous, visiting the iniquities of the fathers upon the children to the 3rd and 4th generation of them that hate me, and showing mercy to thousands of them that love me and keep my commandments. You shall not take the name of Yahweh your Elohim in vain, for Yahweh will not hold him guiltless that takes his name in vain. Remember the Sabbath day, to keep it holy. 6 days you shall labor, and do all your work, but the 7th day is the Sabbath of Yahweh your Elohim. In it you shall not do any work, you, nor your son, nor your daughter, your manservant, nor your maidservant, nor your cattle, nor your stranger that is within your gates. For in 6 days Yahweh made heaven and earth, the sea, and all that in them is, and rested the 7th day. Wherefore Yahweh blessed the Sabbath day, and hallowed it. Honor your father and mother, that your days may be long upon the land which Yahweh your Elohim gives you. You shall not murder. You shall not commit adultery. You shall not steal. You shall not bear false witness against your neighbor. You shall not cover your neighbor's house. You shall not covet your neighbor's wife, nor his manservant, nor his maidservant, nor his ox, nor his ass, nor anything that is your neighbor's. And all the people saw the thunderings and the lightnings and the noise of the trumpet and the mountain smoking. And when the people saw, they removed themselves and stood afar off. And they said to Moses, You speak with us, and we will hear, but do not let Yahweh speak with us, lest we die. And Moses said to the people, Do not fear, for Yahweh is come to prove you, and that his fear may be before your faces, so that you do not sin. And the people stood afar off, and Moses drew near to the thick darkness where Yahweh was. And Yahweh said to Moses, Thus you shall say to the children of Israel, You've seen that I've talked with you from heaven. You shall not make with me Elohim of silver, neither shall you make to you Elohim of gold. An altar of earth you shall make to me, and shall sacrifice upon it your burnt offerings and your peace offerings, your sheep and your oxen. In all places where I record my name, I will come to you, and I will bless you. And if you will make me an altar of stone, you shall not build it of hewn stone, for if you lift up a tool upon it, you have polluted it. Neither shall you go up by steps to my altar, that your nakedness be not discovered upon it. End of chapter. First Chronicles chapter 16. And so they brought the ark of Yahweh, and set it in the midst of the tent that David had pitched for it, and they offered burnt offerings and peace offerings before Yahweh. And when David had made an end of offering the burnt offerings and the peace offerings, he blessed the people in the name of Yahweh, and he dealt to every one of Israel, both man and woman, to every one a loaf of bread, and a good piece of meat, and a flagon of wine. And he appointed certain of the Levites to minister before the ark of Yahweh, and to record, and to thank, and praise Yahweh, Elohim of Israel. Asaph the chief, and next to him Zechariah, Yael, and Shemiramoth, and Yahiel, and Mattathiah, and Eliab, and Benaiah, and Obed-Edom, and Yael with psalteries and with harps. But Asaph made it a sound with cymbals. Benaiah also, and Yahaziel of the priests with trumpets continually before the ark of the covenant of Yahweh. Then on that day David delivered the first to thank Yahweh into the hand of Asaph and his brethren. Give thanks to Yahweh, call upon his name, make known his deeds among the people, sing to him, sing psalms to him, talk you of all his wondrous works. Boast yourselves, you in his holy name. Let the heart of them rejoice that seek Yahweh. Seek Yahweh and his strength. Seek his face continually. Remember his marvelous works that he has done, his wonders and the judgments of his mouth. O you seed of Israel, his servant, you children of Jacob, his chosen ones. He is Yahweh our Elohim. His judgments are in all the earth. Be ye mindful always of his covenant, the word which he commanded to 1,000 generations, even of the covenant which he made with Abraham, and of his oath to Isaac, and has confirmed the same to Jacob for a law, and to Israel for an everlasting covenant, saying, Unto you will I give the land of Canaan, the lot of your inheritance, and when you were but few, even a few, and strangers in it. And when they went from nation to nation, and from one kingdom to another people, he suffered no man to do them wrong. Yes, he reproved kings for their sakes, saying, Do not touch my anointed, and do my prophets no harm. Sing to Yahweh, all the earth. Show forth from day to day his salvation. Declare his reverence among the heathen, his marvelous works among all nations. For great is Yahweh, and greatly to be praised. He also is to be feared above all Elohim. For all the Elohim of the people are idols, but Yahweh made the heavens. Majesty and splendor are in his presence. Strength and gladness are in his place. Give to Yahweh, you kindreds of the people. Give to Yahweh honor and strength. Ascribe to Yahweh the honor due to his name. Bring an offering, and come before him. Worship Yahweh in the beauty of holiness. Fear before him all the earth. The world also shall be stable, so that it is not moved. Let the heavens be glad. Let the earth rejoice. Let men say among the nations, Yahweh reigns. Let the sea roar, and the fullness of it. Let the fields rejoice, and all that is in it. Then shall the trees of the woods sing out at the presence of Yahweh, because he comes to judge the earth. Oh, give thanks to Yahweh, for he is good, for his mercy endures forever. And say you, Save us, O Elohim of our salvation, and gather us together, and deliver us from the heathen, that we may give thanks to your holy name, and triumph in your praise. Blessed be Yahweh, Elohim of Israel, forever and ever. And all the people said, Amen. So be it. Let it be so, and praised Yahweh. And so he left there before the ark of the covenant of Yahweh, Asaph and his brethren, to minister before the ark continually, as every day's work required. And Obed-Edom with their brethren, 68, Obed-Edom also the son of Jeduthun, and Hosah to be porters, and Zadok the priest and his brethren the priests before the tabernacle of Yahweh in the high place that was at Gibeon, to offer burnt offerings to Yahweh upon the altar of the burnt offering, continually morning and evening, and to do according to all that is written in the law of Yahweh which he commanded Israel. And with them Heman and Jeduthun and the rest that were chosen, who were expressed by name, to give thanks to Yahweh, because his mercy endures forever. And with them Heman and Jeduthun with trumpets and cymbals for those that should make a sound, and with musical instruments of Yahweh. And the sons of Jeduthun were porters, and all the people departed every man to his house, and David returned to bless his house. End of chapter.
My soul follows hard after thee. Early in the morning when I rise up and sing.
Luke chapter 16. And he said also to his disciples, There was a certain rich man which had a steward, and the same was accused to him that he had wasted his goods. And he called him and said to him, How is it that I hear this of you? Give an account of your stewardship, for you may no longer be steward. Well, then the steward said within himself, What shall I do? For my master takes away from me the stewardship. I cannot dig. To beg, I'm ashamed. I'm resolved what to do, that when I am put out of the stewardship, that they may receive me into their houses. And so he called every one of his master's debtors to him, said to the first, How much do you owe my master? And he said, 100 measures of oil. He said to him, Take your bill and sit down quickly and write 50. Then he said to another, How much do you owe? And he said, 100 measures of wheat. And he said to him, Take your bill and write 80. And the master commended the unjust steward because he'd done wisely. For the children of this world are in their generation wiser than the children of light. And I say to you, make to yourselves friend of the mammon of unrighteousness, that when you fail, they may receive you into everlasting habitations. He that is faithful in that which is least is faithful also in much. And he that is unjust in the least is unjust also in much. If therefore you have not been faithful in the unrighteous mammon, who will commit to your trust the true riches? And if you have not been faithful in that which is another man's, who shall give you that which is your own? No servant can serve two masters, for either he will hate the one and love the other, or else he will hold to the one and despise the other. You cannot serve Yahweh and Mammon. And the Pharisees also, who were covetous, heard all these things, and they derided him. And he said to them, You are they which justify yourselves before men, but Yahweh knows your hearts. For that which is highly esteemed among men is abomination in the sight of Yahweh. The law and the prophets were until John. Since that time the kingdom of Yahweh is preached, and every man presses to it. It is easier for heaven and earth to pass than one tittle of the law to fail. Whosoever puts away his wife and marries another commits adultery, and whosoever marries her that is put away from her husband commits adultery. There was a certain rich man which was clothed in purple and fine linen, and fared sumptuously every day. And there was a certain beggar named Lazarus, which was laid at his gate, full of sores, and desiring to be fed with the crumbs which fell from the rich man's table. Moreover, the dogs came and licked his sores. And it came to pass that the beggar died, and was carried by the angels to Abraham's bosom. A rich man also died and was buried, and in the grave he lifted up his eyes, being in torments, and sees Abraham afar off, and Lazarus in his bosom. And he cried and said, Father Abraham, have mercy on me, and send Lazarus, that he may dip the tip of his finger in water and cool my tongue, for I'm tormented in this flame. But Abraham said, Son, remember that you in your lifetime received your good things, and likewise Lazarus evil things. But now he is comforted, and you are tormented. And beside all this, between us and you there's a great gulf fixed, so that they which would pass from here to you cannot, neither can they pass to us that would come from there. And then he said, I pray you therefore, Father, that you would send him to my father's house, for I have 5 brothers, that he may testify to them, lest they also come into this place of torment. And Abraham said to him, They have Moses and the prophets, let them hear them. And he said, No, Father Abraham, but if one went to them from the dead, they will repent. And he said to him, If they do not hear Moses and the prophets, neither will they be persuaded, though one rose from the dead. End of chapter.
It is a good thing and to sing praises to your name, Most High, to show forth your loving kindness in the morning and your faithfulness every night. So praise from the to the going down. We praise, we praise from this time forth and even forevermore. It is a good thing and to sing praises to your name, Most High, to show forth your loving kindness in the morning and your faithfulness every night. So we praise from the rise to the going down. We praise, we praise from this time forth and even forevermore. We shabak your name, we shabak your name from the rise to the going down. We shabak your name. We bless your name, we bless your name from the rise to the going down. We bless your name, we bless. We praise your name, we praise from the rise to the going down. We praise, praise. We worship your name, worship from the rise to the. We worship from this time forth and even forevermore.